America's favorite pawn star, or the mastermind behind a horrifying secret. When the FBI raided Rick Harrison's mansion, what they uncovered stunned the nation. Hidden bunkers, stolen artifacts, and 25 bodies. The legacy of Pawn Stars shattered overnight. What was real? What was for show? This isn't a TV drama. This is a true crime story that no one saw coming. Watch till the end before this video disappears. FBI raid. Rick Harrison, the famous face behind Pawn Stars, never imagined that his life would take such a shocking turn. One morning, without any warning, the FBI stormed into his luxurious Las Vegas mansion. This wasn't part of a show or a stage drama. This was real. The officers didn't knock or ring the bell. They broke down the front door with force, surprising everyone inside. It was clear that this was not a routine visit. The agents acted fast and serious, leaving no room for questions. What they found behind that door was beyond belief. Hidden beneath the grand house was a secret underground bunker. It wasn't on any blueprints. No one outside the house knew it even existed. The room was dark, filled with strange artifacts, and there was something even more disturbing. A visible trail of blood leading deeper inside. The FBI immediately sealed off the area, marking it as a top-level secret crime scene. Why would someone like Rick, famous, successful, and always in the public eye, need a hidden bunker? And why was there blood? These questions shocked not just the FBI, but the entire nation. This was no longer just a story about a businessman. It had turned into a serious crime investigation. Hidden bunker. As agents stepped deeper into the mansion's basement, they found something no one was prepared for. Behind a sealed metal door, hidden behind a bookshelf, was an underground bunker that wasn't part of any known design plans. The entrance was protected by a separate electronic lock system, something built to keep people out, not just to hide belongings. Once inside, the FBI team was hit with a strong, strange smell, a mix of chemicals, mold, and something far worse. The light from their flashlights revealed old stone walls and narrow passageways. The space was far from empty. On one side were shelves filled with mysterious objects. Some looked ancient, like they belonged in a museum. On the other side, agents discovered personal items, jewelry, letters, even photographs. But the most chilling part came when they reached the far end of the tunnel. There, in the shadows, lay a human body wrapped in cloth. No ID, no name, just silence. More bodies appeared as they continued. It was clear this wasn't a storage room. It was a carefully arranged site with horrifying purpose. The FBI now had a new mission: uncover how deep this dark secret truly went. Dark secrets. What started as a financial audit had turned into something far more disturbing. As investigators connected the dots, the secrets buried beneath Rick Harrison's success began to surface. The underground bunker wasn't just a hidden room, it was part of a horrifying system. The bodies found were not randomly placed. Some were hidden behind false walls, others laid carefully on wooden floors, and a few were even preserved using chemicals, almost like someone wanted to keep them from decaying. Each victim told a silent story. Some had been missing for years, others only months. Most had no obvious connection, yet somehow, they all ended up in the same place, beneath the home of a man millions admired. Forensics revealed mixed causes of death: poison, suffocation, and head trauma. None of the victims showed signs of fighting back, suggesting they were unconscious before dying. Even more chilling was the discovery of detailed records. Notes were found in a locked room, listing names, dates, and private details about each victim. Some files were encrypted, others handwritten. One chilling phrase appeared repeatedly: too much information, high risk. This was not random violence, it was controlled, planned, and deeply personal. Stolen artifacts. While the bodies shocked investigators, another trail of clues pointed toward a different kind of crime: smuggling. During the early stages of the investigation, financial records from Rick Harrison's gold and silver pawn shop raised serious red flags. A routine tax audit had uncovered large shipments of goods with no clear origin. Items worth hundreds of thousands of dollars had entered the system without proper paperwork or matching digital records. When these suspicious items were compared against Interpol's global database, several matched stolen artifacts from European museums and private collections. These weren't ordinary collectibles. They were rare, historical, and internationally tracked. Some had even been reported missing after high-profile robberies. The presence of such pieces in Rick's store shocked law enforcement. This discovery brought a new layer to the case. It wasn't just about hidden bodies anymore. It involved international smuggling, black market trades, and cultural theft. Rick Harrison, once seen as a trusted figure in the world of antiques, was now under suspicion of running an illegal operation that stretched far beyond Las Vegas. Crime network. As the FBI dug deeper, it became clear Rick Harrison hadn't acted alone. Surveillance footage, phone records, and encrypted messages revealed links to a much larger criminal network. Several known smugglers, some wanted by Interpol, had visited his pawn shop, but they didn't walk through the front door. These meetings happened off-camera, in storage rooms and office spaces without any public access or security footage. Their visits always matched with major thefts happening around the world. Priceless artifacts would vanish in one country, only to show up weeks later in Rick's inventory. The timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. Investigators also found private communication logs between Rick and these individuals using code words and metaphors for illegal items. In some conversations, terms like old metal shipment or heritage trade were used, language that masked the true nature of the deals. Financial records confirmed that hundreds of thousands of dollars were moving through offshore accounts and unregistered shell companies. It was no longer just a murder case. It was the collapse of a global underground ring, with Rick Harrison at the center, orchestrating moves like a mastermind behind a criminal empire. The discovery. Everything changed the moment the FBI breached the final locked room inside Rick Harrison's mansion. Hidden behind reinforced walls and absent from all blueprints, the room was unlike anything else in the house. It was small, cold, and disturbingly organized. Inside, investigators found shelves stacked with personal belongings, watches, wedding rings, wallets, photographs, and even handwritten letters. Each item was carefully tagged with a name and date. Some belonged to the victims already found in the bunker. Others were linked to people still classified as missing. Even more chilling were the handwritten notes beside each item. They included details like met at store, became suspicious, or rejected, untrustworthy. It was a twisted catalog, part memorial, part evidence of premeditated action. Nearby, the digital team uncovered a hidden hard drive behind a loose wall panel. On it were photos, victim profiles, and encrypted records of when each person was approached, captured, and what happened afterward. One folder even had a chilling title, Final Steps. It became clear, this wasn't a chaotic crime scene. It was a carefully built system for tracking, silencing, and storing the victims. Digital proof. The breakthrough came when forensic agents cracked the encryption on the hard drive found in the hidden room. What they discovered was shocking. Rick Harrison had documented everything. The files weren't just random notes. They were organized logs, complete with names, timelines, risk ratings, and coded entries showing when each victim was contacted, monitored, and ultimately silenced. Even more disturbing were the digital folders labeled by year, each containing photos of the victims, screenshots of text messages, and GPS data from Rick's personal devices. Investigators matched these details with missing persons reports across Nevada and California. Many entries included the phrase, "Cleared, no return risk." Some victims had even been tracked for weeks before disappearing. Additionally, financial documents stored on offline systems showed international transactions tied to stolen artifacts, routed through dummy corporations and crypto wallets. There was no doubt, Rick Harrison had built a digital web of secrecy, with every move recorded and encrypted. The evidence wasn't just circumstantial anymore. It was direct, undeniable, and detailed beyond belief. Public fallout. As news of the investigation broke, the public reaction was instant and explosive. Rick Harrison, once a beloved TV personality and icon of the American dream, was now the face of one of the most disturbing criminal cases in recent memory. Social media erupted with disbelief, anger, and betrayal. Fans of Pawn Stars, who had followed Rick for years, couldn't comprehend how the man they admired could be involved in such horrors. Broadcast networks responded quickly. Pawn Stars was pulled off the air within days. Sponsors withdrew, platforms removed episodes, and streaming services blacklisted the show. The gold and silver pawn shop, once a hotspot for tourists, became deserted. Transactions were frozen and visitors stopped coming. The business empire Rick had built began to crumble overnight. Even more painful was the impact on his family. His son, Corey Harrison, faced intense media scrutiny. Though he claimed to know nothing, the public wasn't convinced. Rick's wife vanished from public view, refusing to give statements. Former fans started deleting episodes and posting angry messages online, calling their years of admiration a mistake. The collapse wasn't just legal, it was personal, emotional, and total. The trial. Rick Harrison's court trial became one of the most closely followed events in recent history. Crowds gathered outside, reporters filled the courtroom, and every news outlet ran constant updates. The man who once smiled on television was now in a courtroom, facing charges of 25 murders, human remains trafficking, money laundering, and leading a global smuggling network. The prosecution came prepared with powerful evidence, photos of the victims, financial records, encrypted files, and witness testimony from former associates. One witness claimed Rick personally ordered certain targets to be silenced. Others described how Rick organized the crime scenes to avoid leaving traces. Every piece of data painted a dark and calculated picture. Rick took the stand in the 6th week. Calm but distant, he denied all charges, claiming he was framed. But when shown GPS logs and security footage matching his whereabouts to crime scenes, his defense started to crumble. His legal team tried to argue evidence mishandling, but the jury wasn't convinced. After 3 tense months, the verdict came in, guilty on all major charges. Rick's face stayed frozen, no reaction, his legacy shattered, his empire gone. The courtroom was silent, heavy with the weight of the truth. Legacy destroyed. The guilty verdict didn't just mark the end of Rick Harrison's freedom, it marked the collapse of an entire legacy. Once admired as a sharp businessman and TV icon, Rick was now remembered as a criminal mastermind behind one of the darkest scandals in reality TV history. Pawn Stars, which had run for over a decade, was officially canceled. Reruns were pulled, partnerships dissolved, and even memorabilia from the show vanished from stores. Rick's family disappeared from the spotlight. His son Corey, once seen as a cheerful co-star, faced ongoing suspicion despite no direct involvement. Fans who once celebrated the Harrison brand now felt deceived. Online communities that once praised the show turned into forums for outrage and analysis, digging through past episodes for signs they might have missed. The fallout extended beyond just Rick's circle. Other reality TV producers began re-evaluating background checks, and networks quietly paused similar shows. The industry had taken a hit, and public trust was shaken. Rick Harrison had built an empire on charm, business acumen, and camera charisma. But in the end, none of that could hide the truth. His name, once celebrated, became a warning. Fame can cover the face, but never erase the facts. The truth behind Rick Harrison's downfall has shocked millions, but this is just one of many secrets buried beneath fame. What happens when another music legend steps forward? In our next video, Dionne Warwick finally reveals truth about Karen Carpenter, a story that will change everything you thought you knew. Subscribe now and don't miss what comes next.